date.
Watch. That's cuter.
And you don't wear it.
No, because I don't actually know where it is.
Does it tell you your heart rate?
Yeah.
No.
How many calories you've burnt?
That's
No.
a problem.
Text messages?
I don't want to know that. That's what
Can you talk to people through it?
Maybe. That's what a phone's for. I don't understand why we need more devices. You're all getting sucked into technology.
Okay, TikTok.
Okay, boomer.
Oh, boomer.
I know, I'm just joking. Hi guys, welcome back to our Sip on This podcast. I'm your host, Bianca.
I'm Andy.
Naj?
So, what's a cookie? Tell me, what is a cookie? Besides the delicious things with chocolate chips in it, what is a cookie in our world?
It's also still a biscuit, but in our world, it's something that's used to track user behavior and users on websites.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's
Is
a
that
little
pretty?
it's a little crumb that browsers
crumb.
leave. Yeah, it kind of is. It's a little
All the biscuit
crumb
references.
of data that browsers sort of leave once you've visited websites, done bits and
Right.
pieces, and they've got all sorts of information in those cookies stored there.
Yeah. So when you say crumb, it's like the crumbs that you've left over after going onto that website.
It's the Jack and Jill thing.
Yeah.
You've left a trail of crumbs.
So that's why they call it a cookie? Because of the crumbs?
I assume so. I've never really looked into why they call it a
I
cookie.
thought about it in depth, but
I understand the
makes sense.
concept, but I've never really looked into
I feel
why
like
it was called it.
people don't know what a cookie is. It's just something that pops up on their screen and they go, yeah, whatever, or no. But what does that mean to you guys? Like, how do you take that data that from this cookie and use it to your benefit? And, you know, what do you do with it from a marketing point of view?
Yeah, so basically the whole idea of a cookie is when you go to a particular website, say for example you're on a travel website, right? You want to fly somewhere, you visit Webjet or one of those sort of luxury escapes or something, and you're browsing there, you're having a look at properties, all that stuff is sort of recorded and dropped into a cookie on your website, whether you've really asked for it or not. And that's what we call third-party cookies.
Right.
And the reason why they're third-party cookies is other sites can use that information. So, for example, you've been on Webjet, you've been having a look at properties, then later that night you're on Facebook and all of a sudden you're getting ads, not necessarily from Webjet, but from some other sort of company selling you flights, selling you accommodation, sort of stuff like that. So they have been able to access the data that was dropped in that little cookie from Webjet to target you.
And that's pretty much instant then.
Yeah. It's
really quick.
It's stored at a browser level. So
Wow.
basically, when you open up Google Chrome, you visit somewhere, there's a little third-party cookie. Everywhere you go, there's little crumbs of information. It's probably why they call it a
Yeah,
cookie.
the crumb thing's good.
Yeah, sort
Leaving
of
crumbs.
dropped everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what a third-party cookie is. Good or bad. The world is, well, it's kind of, it's not very good in terms of privacy.
Yeah.
Having
Well, that's why they're bringing that new update, right?
Yeah, so Google's been trying to do this for a while. They announced it a couple of years ago. They want to get rid of the third-party cookies, right? And I think Apple
did
and
it.
certain sort of things. So they tried to do it. It's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. The latest sort of information is at the second half of this year, but I believe it's still going to be a gradual step. They're going to try with a couple of percent and then gradually phase it out and sort of see how it goes. But there will be a time when third-party cookies will definitely be eliminated and marketers has to. Yeah, I think so, because it's a massive data concern. It's a massive privacy concern. And I think smart marketers have to sort of get ahead and start preparing alternate ways of not being able to do the type of targeting specifically in like paid advertising that you can do now.
So what do you recommend? Like what do people do when that happens? Like what are you guys going to do really? That's going to obviously affect us as well. So what are you going to do about it?
Yes, go on, Eddie.
Start looking at first-party data.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between first party and third party?
So first-party is data that you've handed over. So if we're an e-commerce website or you sign up to a newsletter, you're willingly giving over your email address, your name, and whatever information they've asked for. Third party is you've gone onto Webjet, you're cookied, and we know that you like travel.
And even if you don't select, I accept the cookies, you still leave a cookie.
There's an element that it's
It's
bare
kind of
minimum.
debatable, yeah.
Right.
They ask for the bare minimum, and that's normally for website behavior, but they don't go any deeper. So
Sure.
you normally get an option of
Okay.
I accept all, only what's necessary, or denial.
Yeah. So the whole idea of the first party data is as Andy said, it's data that you willingly share with a website. So whether it's your details, what you sort of preferences. It's also used for like just really functional things like remembering logins when you go to the website, remembering your name, sort of bits and pieces. And the whole idea about first-party data is that that's data that a business owns and it's not shared with anybody else. Therefore, you can use that for marketing purposes. And we can get into like all the different types of marketing tactics that you can utilize first-party data with. But on a large scale, that is sort of the answer to combat losing third-party cookies.
So just prioritizing first-party data first.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do it.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of businesses don't have a CRM. They're not collecting information. There's no email list.
Third-party, do they?
Well, they just rely on whatever sort of advertising they're doing.
Or they're oblivious.
Yeah, they just haven't thought about it.
So you get stuck in this is what we've been doing. And it works, and it's not until the point of no, now it's broken.
Yeah.
Like the alarm bells went off when Apple did their whole privacy thing.
Yeah.
And now you can't report on certain email clicks, or it was hard to attribute back to campaigns. From a marketing perspective, we weren't able to track conversions on Apple devices.
Yeah.
So obviously your cost per conversion goes up, your cost per click's going up, your conversion rate's going down. You may actually be getting conversions, but it's not recording because they're not sharing the data. Which there's an element of it which is, okay, that's good. But from a marketing perspective, it makes it more challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Third-party cookies are also not 100% reliable because they're not identified as you. So, for example, you live with your partner, right? So have you ever seen ads that are completely not relevant to you, that are 100% relevant to your partner?
Yes, all the time. Like some car crap or something.
100%. So the reason for that is because you guys share the same network. You're on the same Wi-Fi. You might share devices.
Right,
so it's targeting that whole ecosystem rather than you, Bianca, as the person. So in some instances, third-party cookies are not that accurate because it takes all of that into effect. Whether you're searching for stuff at work or at home, you can't really distinguish all of that. So with first-party data, though, the targeting options are much more accurate.
I have an example. It's just kind of a side question. So sometimes when I want a discount code, I'll use my partner's email and make him an account. Does that affect your first party data? If I've for instance, the other day I signed up to Cookieless with his email and name because I wanted the 10% off discount code because it's a different account. Does that affect your first party data?
Because he doesn't 100%.
But will that now affect, will he then get possibly ads for
yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
and things related to that. So
you're telling that store that Blake is you.
So if he went and started signing into things at Bunnings for you and Dulux paint, and you start getting paint ads, you'd be like, why am I getting these?
Okay.
It's because at some point somebody's
That's funny. I just wanted to know that
shared
because I do that often.
You like this.
I use his email. He's like, why do I keep getting all these ads? I'm like, I don't know. Signed up somehow.
Yeah,
You're the girlfriend.
That's cool.
The same old, just go and speak into his phone for things that you want.
I love
and
that.
he'll start getting relevant ads around things that you want.
That's scary. That's a whole other thing.
But it's data.
It's true. That's very true. So what are ways that people can, besides obviously having a newsletter and just signing up onto the website, what are other ways that people can get this first party data to then prepare for this cookieless world?
Yeah. So look, it's about being strategic, and even if you did have a CRM and emails, you can't bombard your customers with random questions. But what you basically need to do is learn as much as you can about your customers because there's still targeting options that still work, like demographic targeting. Yeah. Basically, anything that you've willingly take Facebook and Instagram advertising, for example.
Yeah.
Anything that you've willingly told them, for example, if you like a particular page, if you've told them your age and all that stuff, you can still target that.
Okay.
The limitations are going to be where you no longer can target for things that you haven't told them that they've scraped from third-party sources. Yeah. So if you have a CRM with a massive list, you have access to your customers, and you start looking at ways of collecting more data, giveaways, surveys for things to find out what's relevant to them. Yeah. So for example, say you run a supplement company and you sell protein powder, right? Try and find out who those customers are. For example, if you ask people for their birthdays and then give them a $10 credit. What you've done then is you've basically have a range of what age group your customers are in. So that's a targeting option, right? There's one. Knowing if they're male or female, that's another one. Maybe you do a random social media survey and ask who's your sort of favorite movie star, for example, right? So just to give you a little practical example, if you collect this data, you find out they're blokes between the age of 18 and 40. Their favorite movie star is Arnold Schwarzenegger. So these are targeting options that you can now go to something like Facebook ads and launch ads and basically say, I want to target 18 to 40-year-old men who are interested in Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilding. They haven't told Facebook that they drink protein, but you've used the data that you've collected on your back end to try and go and match it.
Yeah, because you are making an assumption that from all those things that they probably might have an interest in protein powder because they're interested in that person.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what 10,000 of your customers are interested in, potentially that's what another set of audiences are sort of interested in. So that's a really practical example. And so you have to come up with some strategies, utilizing other channels, not just emails, like organic social media. You can prioritize other channels not affected by losing cookies. So for example, social media again, prioritizing that channel, SEO, or organic search, looking into sort of alternate ways, getting really good tracking as well. And Andy can probably talk more about sort of server-side tracking, which is like a different sort of method of fixing up your tracking so you can actually track what's going on.
Yeah.
So the new method of thinking is, like I just said, server-side tracking. So there are two aspects to web behavior. You've got the client, which is the browser, and you've got the server, which holds all the information. So instead of tracking it browser level, you pass the information to the server where you're holding it and it's not being affected and you're storing all the data there. It helps with stopping ad blockers. People use ad blockers, cookie blockers, and JavaScript blockers and things like that. They can affect what happens when somebody comes to a site, which is obviously a cookie issue in itself. So if we store them server side, it doesn't get affected by any of that. And you're storing the data yourself, and then you're able to use that for things like Naja said, to maybe build an audience, push it into another platform, and leverage that information. So setting up server-side tracking, so not relying on the browser and relying on the user to not have ad blockers or cookie blockers, and you're leveraging the technology we've got at hand to be able to do that and get decent, clean data on your customers' web behavior.
Yeah.
So even if they're not signing up, you're still able to capture something from them, and you're not passing it on to anybody else, and you're using
It's your own data.
So you're using it.
And I think the more highly relevant data you can collect, so for example, segmenting your data, so finding out your best customers, your highest spending customers, your most loyal customers. If you can start to segment and group all those, you can then feed that data back into, say, a platform like Facebook and start building lookalike audiences from that. And that's the whole point. And look, I think brands will also have to go back to more sort of traditional thinking and just think about things like loyalty, be good to your customer, how you're going to reward loyal customers. Because there will be a time very soon where just real sort of scattergun sort of targeting options for paid social and things like that will surely disappear.
So what are the CRMs that you kind of recommend people to use? Is there a high-end one, a low-end one? Obviously, it all depends on your budget. I'm sure that some are a lot more expensive than others. What do you guys recommend?
Well, I mean, we personally would recommend HubSpot. We're specialists in it. We use it a lot. It does have a free tier for smaller businesses when they're just getting started, and the add-ons you can put onto it don't come at a massive cost.
Okay.
So depending on what you want to do, the free tier comes with HubSpot branding on certain things. If you want, similar to MailChimp, you'll see small businesses use MailChimp and it's got the MailChimp branding at the bottom in the footer. So you can do that and use HubSpot for that level. There are smaller ones. I mean, HubSpot goes to a ridiculous enterprise level and you can spend a huge amount of money on it.
Yeah.
But there are things like Pipedrive, Go High Level, that are smaller fish that you pay for and you get decent features, but HubSpot's the number one in the market.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think if you're an e-commerce business, I mean Shopify does a lot of that stuff out of the box as well, and it does let you connect.
And that integrates with HubSpot as well if need to.
Yeah, and it
Yep.
also integrates with advertising platforms like Google and Facebook, so you can pump data back into those platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've finally introduced native integrations. So it's an official Shopify app. You can connect it to your merchant center for your products, YouTube and Google Ads. And the same with Facebook. You can connect it to the Facebook and Instagram shops. So you can push your products out that way organically and just and push them out that way rather than just using it as an advertising point of view. So there's a lot of platforms that are growing and understanding the need for like this fully connected sort of universe for your customers where you'll be able to reach them everywhere.
Yep.
And the things with especially e-commerce with Shopify and like WooCommerce and things like that, they'll connect to email software, things like OmniSend for Shopify. So you go beyond the basics and you can create sequences and split out your customers, like Nigel was saying, for your high spenders, your women that are only interested in Australian black dresses, and shoes and shoe sizes, and splitting out demographics. Then you can set up like scheduled emails so you're not bombarding them with things that they're going to want.
Yeah.
And then your return's going to be a lot greater if you're sending people relevant.
Yeah,
course.
it's
Information.
more accurate. It's targeted to you. The really good thing about first-party data as well is you can share it across all your platforms. So if you notice, like a lot of brands now, there's they have obviously their website and their social media channels, but they all have their own apps.
Yeah.
So if you're centralizing your first-party data somewhere, that can spread across the app, the website, social media.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you
a lot
can
of places
use.
do have apps now, actually.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
many, and you get little discounts. Love that.
yeah, but
why I
it's all
download
it's
them.
all a little piece. I mean, from the consumer point of view, it's great. You get little
Of course.
bid deals and
But there's
benefits,
a
but
bigger meaning behind it, I guess.
yeah,
for the
yeah,
brand.
it's all data collection. It's all data collection, so they can keep using that to keep sort of targeting new people just like you.
Yeah,
Notif-
just like me. I am that
notifications.
person.
Ping. Oh, there's a sale on
Oh,
XYZ.
I love that notification.
But you're logged in.
Yeah.
So they have you, you're logged in their app, you're doing the same, and they're getting you on your mobile device, which could be an iPhone, which they can't track properly from a browser perspective. And the same with things like Apple and Google. They get you to log into their services on mail. So everybody's got Gmail app on their phone or Apple Mail. You're logging into things as your user account.
Yep.
You're willingly using their services, so you're handing over.
Yeah,
Your
that becomes
data.
their first party data.
So my emails that I get become their first party data?
I don't know if there's so much reading your emails,
Okay.
but
like as in,
I
like,
mean, they
if
can.
I get heaps of fashion emails, then can Google kind of recognize that and go, oh, she's clearly into
Yeah,
fashion.
they add that into
If you're
a Google
logging
signal.
into their platform
Yeah.
through your email account and doing whatever it is that you're doing,
Yeah.
that data is their first party data because you've logged in and
course.
you've given that data to
Even though I
them.
don't have a choice, I have to log in
yeah,
to
and
access my data.
they know your name, your date of birth, they know your location, search
Yep.
history.
That's cool.
So it all matches with your email. So Google are building that where they want people logged in to all of their platforms and across all of their stuff, because then they can build this amazing user profile that they will use
Yeah.
for all their first party data on their platforms. And then obviously they're learning more, and they do offer a good service for it. It's not something you don't like. You know, if you don't want to use it, you don't sign in or don't sign up.
Of course.
But you will somewhere. But they're using that to collect their first party data.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's the big companies.
Yeah.
So
of
it's
course.
basically taking that principle and applying it to your own business.
Yeah. So should businesses be like scared of not having a cookieless? No cookies?
I don't think they should be scared. Definitely not. But they should be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, they should have a strategy, especially if they're very heavily invested into like paid social advertising, where this is going to affect the most. They should have a first
And they
party
should be
data
planning
strategy.
now. They shouldn't
Oh,
wait
100%.
for this to
Well,
be...
look, it should have been, in the planning mix. I mean, we've been doing this for years.
Yeah. If you
but,
haven't done it, start right now.
Start doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, there's no point waiting for it to happen. Then you're like, oh, crap.
Just invest in your own your own channels.
Yep.
Your own people, your own customers. Learn as much as you can, so you can use that data to then further market.
Do you have any like further tips on what?
Well, like Nigel was saying with things like Shopify, okay, it's paid to a certain degree, but omnisend for email marketing, if you're a Shopify person, there's a free tier to it. The paid tiers aren't overly expensive and you get a lot of features. HubSpot is free to a certain level. There are lots of cheaper and free options for you to sort of dip your toe into the water and see what works best for your business. Do some research. The information's all out there. So, but do educated research.
Yeah.
And don't just guess and think this might work. But you've got to start doing it now.
Yeah. Or you should have been doing it for a while.
Can you maybe give us some social media tips in terms of what you would do as a social media marketer to try and, in a clever way, get as much information from your followers as possible?
Yeah, I mean, obviously giveaways is probably the biggest and easiest way. People don't want to give, like you've said before, don't want to give away their information for free, right? Like they want something back. It's whether it's a discount code or a free item. I know I told you guys the other day that I got sucked in for a free eyebrow pencil because they were doing this promotion about a free eyebrow pencil, and I was like, I want a free eyebrow pencil. It's a perfect way to get my information. It was free. So little things like that, just giving back as well, because I guess to the follower or the client or the customer or whoever it is, they feel like that they're doing nothing by giving over that information. So entering a giveaway, right? That's a $50,000 giveaway or a free car or whatever it is. Them going into that chance to win, there's no risk in their mind, right? Like, I'll win or I won't win. I'm not paying for anything. I'm not paying to enter. It's not like the lottery where you're going to pay, $10, $20, $30, whatever to have a chance to win. You're just entering for free. So little things like that. You mentioned like polls and things, the use of polls and getting customer feedback and having the whole, reviews, things like that. They're all aspects of social media. By asking things and getting something in return for it, there's so many ways you could do it. But polls and giveaways, this is the most simple way you could get things done and get all that information to you.
Yeah. And I think we've done a lot of that in the past in terms of setting that up for clients and building landing pages and getting that data into that and having those landing pages pumped back into HubSpot.
Definitely.
And then having that information pushed back into search engines and meta advertising. And so it's about connecting the dots really 100%. And utilizing all the channels to get to achieve a common goal.
Yeah, definitely collaborate as a whole. Don't, disregard one of them because you don't know how to use it. Like social media is free. There's no point not using that. Don't think just because it's social media, it's nothing. Like people give over information so much easier than they will anywhere. Social media is just the information pool. Where I ate today, where I live, where 100%. I've gone on holidays to, who I'm dating, who I'm not dating. Like it's really just stalk someone and you'll find out their whole life. Like it's pretty easy.
Make your account private.
Yeah, or do that.
Or make your account private.
Or do that. But
businesses do similar stuff.
Yeah.
So gated content.
Yeah, gated content's a good one.
So, I mean, I've subscribed to stuff where I'm like, this could be really interesting. And they've got, sign up and get our PDF based on X, Y, and Z. So you can do, if you're not selling products, but you're offering a service or, here's our easy 10 steps to implementing HubSpot. It's a PDF, just sign up here.
Yeah.
You give them the PDF.
Easy.
They've given you their information, their email address, their first name.
Boom.
And from a business, you'd be like, well, we've got somebody we could potentially help set up HubSpot 100%. For, and we know they're interested.
Yeah. You could do, I guess, going back to social media as well, you could do there's a subscription option as well. You can have subscription. Obviously, that's a paid side of things, so people do have to pay. But again, that's like premium, exclusive. You could have exclusive deals, exclusive content, events, things like that, where they get free things. And everyone just wants to feel special, and they'll be like, I'll give you my whole life.
Everyone wants
just make
free
me feel
stuff.
Special, and here's all my information.
Give me free stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody wants free stuff.
Free stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's a good about the PDFs. There's so many people on social media who are like, if you click on my bio and download my 10-step on how to become rich and famous for affiliate marketing, I'll give it to you for free. Or the first 10 people who, or whatever. Then they just got all their information. That's
Let's
such
say
a smart
the
way
first
to
10
do
people,
it.
do you really think they're going, there's 10 people, that's it.
They're not going to
10,000
stop. They're going to be like,
people.
you're number 9. I'm so glad you got in.
Yeah, everybody's number 9.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
you're all number 9. It's amazing. There's a million people that have signed up.
Definitely. So I think, the giving back thing is what people, that's the easiest way to get first party data.
You can't go into a shop and just pick something off the shelf and walk out. You're going to pay for it.
Of course.
It's like, you want this product?
Yeah,
You hand over your money. There's an
Of course.
exchange of something all the time. But if you can offer something to somebody that they're going to find valuable,
Yep.
they'll hand over the information.
So like discounts, I literally will never buy anything unless there's a discount, even if it's 5%. Like, you know, I know that you guys all know about, but I feel like I'm getting a deal when I'm getting that 5% off.
just,
I will never buy it full price. I will search the internet for a discount
Bargain
code.
hunter.
Literally. But
Yeah.
even if it's like a small, even if it's like $2, I'm like, I win. You know, in my mind, I'm like, I've won.
What they're setting up in the back end for you specifically is they're putting it up by the exact discount amount. So you're like, I'm getting 10% off, but they've actually put the price up. And you're like, yes, winning.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it's like a mental thing. In that moment, I feel that I'm getting a deal and I'm happy to put over my information. But I'm, you know,
It's
I'm a shopaholic, so I don't know about everyone
It's the
else.
same with shopping. It's the same with anything. You're always looking for the best offer.
Yeah.
100%.
And something that's relevant for you and that's going to benefit you.
And if it's the difference between $100 off and you have to give in all your information over, or no, you're going to pay an extra $100 off, most people are going to give over their information for that $100 off. I mean, I would.
And look, you get better ads. You get things that are relevant to you. That, you know, I actually need that 3-in-1 mop.
Yeah.
It's like,
Besides Blake getting all my cooker
Blake's
ads.
going to be like, why do I need these
I'm like,
diaries?
for
What do I
me."
need this for? He's like, Bianca's sending me hints.
Yeah,
So everything's...
Ring.
ring. Yeah, exactly.
Shout out, Blake.
Not Timu.
Not Timu. Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's
So plan, prepare, get your stuff together now.
Yeah, I mean, the basic principles of marketing are always going to matter, right? So serving the right message to the right person at the right time.
Yep.
So nothing changes.
Yeah.
It just means you just the tools and the landscape changes a little.
Yeah.
But the principles remain the same.
Yeah.
So just figuring out how you can do that,
Yeah.
mainly by utilizing first party data and some alternate strategies to continue to push that along, and you'll be a winner.
Yeah, nice. Just another last kind of question. Do you think there are going to be businesses who are going to be affected by
Oh,
this?
1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1000%. Because they're
think-
very heavily invested into scattergun paid advertising strategies.
Yeah.
And if they haven't shifted, if they haven't prioritized first party data, loyalty, a lot of their tracking options, a lot of their targeting options are going to get dwindled down. So their ROI is going to suffer. So there will be some businesses who will be greatly affected by it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't be one of them.
No, don't be one of them.
Don't be one of them. Plan ahead.
Get ahead.
Yeah. Was good. Thanks,
Nice.
guys.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks, guys, for tuning into this week's episode. If you guys enjoyed, remember to follow us on all of our streaming platforms, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks.
See you.
Peace.